Hello, this is Mr. Griffin, and excuse me. And I'm just here. I'm just here to talk about TNA, make some random thoughts. Now, if you've listened to a couple of my recent videos from the last couple of months, you know I've been critical on WWE, particularly their reliance on old stars and not turning a certain superstar heel. Well, while they have gone under the radar, TNA is pretty much guilty of the same thing. And in my opinion, they're in danger of, they claim to be the alternative to WWE, but to me, they're starting to become just like WWE. Only like maybe WWE light, perhaps. But they're in danger of becoming almost a carbon copy of WWE. And there's two areas in particular I want to talk about, two subjects in particular. The first one is concerning their Knockouts division, and in particular a certain star that you're about to see right here. And you fellas, as you listen to me especially, I hope you enjoyed the nice images of Alexa Laree James, better known as Mickie James. And I don't understand what they're doing concerning her. And that is, it's been obvious that they have been teasing a heel turn for her for the longest time. And yet, it's almost like, you know, and you fellas especially can relate to this. You know how a girl just, really gets you warm and gets you really hot? How she acts like she's about to give you the pussy, and you just hard as hell. You just can't wait inside of her. Oh, and feel her nice warm walls and goodness. To feel them soft legs wrapped around you. So you can, you can't wait to put your hands all over her nice, voluptuous body. And then she pulls out. Doesn't that piss you off, guys? I mean, really, doesn't that piss you off? Well, I kind of feel like they're doing the same thing with Mickie James. It's like they keep teasing this heel turn. They have teased it for the longest time. They keep teasing it, but they won't pull the trigger. It's like, or let me say to the ladies that may be viewing this, to the ladies that may be listening to this video. Imagine a guy you really want, really hot guy that you really want. He takes you. He gets you all fired up and warmed up. And let's say he gets inside of you. And he is giving it to you and giving it to you. And then just as you're about to reach that climax, just as you're about to pop, he pulls out and says, I'm done. Don't that piss you ladies off? Well, that's kind of how I feel about this situation. I mean, it's almost the same thing to the point where Mickie James is almost the John Cena of the Knockouts division, in the sense that they keep teasing a heel turn, which would I actually, and in both cases, ironically, and I find it ironic I'm mentioning these two, considering their alleged history together. But isn't it funny how turning heel on both of these cats, some might say Cena, but I would say in the case of Mickie James as well, how turning them heel would actually help their respective divisions or help their respective companies. Yet, much like WWE refuses to pull the trigger on a John Cena heel turn, TNA seems to be the same way about Mickie James. They just tease a heel turn, but they won't pull the trigger. It's getting almost to the point where even if they did it this week on Impact, would anyone care? I mean, it's getting to that point. I mean, would anyone give it? I mean, the time to do it was about 2 weeks ago when she had her title match against Velvet Sky and lost. That would have been the perfect time to pull the trigger. And they didn't do it. Now, granted, they may have something else in mind. Who knows? Maybe they do. But it's getting to the point where either, as they like to say, shit or get off the pot concerning this. Either turn her heel or get off the pot. And it's getting to where, you know, nobody's going, and it's kind of sad because a heel Mickie James could be a new foil for, let's say, Velvet Sky. Because we know Mickie James could carry Velvet Sky to a match. So that would make for interesting. Or maybe have a heel Mickie James go against a face Gail Kim. You know, you could turn her back face and have her face a face Gail Kim, or maybe the Knockout Tag Team titles, as Mickie James talked in a shoot interview recently about those belts. Maybe a heel Mickie James hooks up with a heel Tara, and they become the tag champs. Because Lord knows they'd be a lot more visible than, say, OBD and Eric Young. At least the titles would actually mean something. And maybe bring in the Blossom Twins from England to feud with these two veterans over those tag titles, revitalizing them. I mean, there's a whole host of possibilities you could do with Mickie James as a heel. Why TNA won't do it? Who knows? But, like I said, it's getting to where it's getting to be shit or get off the pot with this. Now, that's my take on Mickie James, and as I was talking, I really hope you enjoyed the nice little images that you was watching. And now, on to the other subject, which is relying on old stars. Now, WWE has been catching hell for this. Even I've given them hell about The Rock, about Undertaker, about Brock Lesnar, about Triple H, to a lesser extent Shawn Michaels, and any other past WWE superstar that they seem to push into the limelight over new stars. And much of the criticism that I've done, I feel was warranted, and much of it that I've heard from other fans, I feel is warranted. But you know what? As bad as WWE is for doing that, TNA is, and they've snuck under the radar with this, but TNA is 10 times worse about this, particularly when it comes to Hulk Hogan and Sting. And even looking through TNA's past, all the way through when the TNA Championship was the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, even through when it split from the NWA and became the TNA title. How many homegrown talents has really held that belt? Really? That wasn't a past former WCW or WWE superstar. I can only name, really, maybe AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. You could argue R-Truth or Ron the Truth Killings, even though he was in WWE prior to his 2 NWA title reigns. But it seems like all the champions, Jeff Jarrett, Sting, Kurt Angle, it seems like all the other champions that they've been in that Fed have all been former WWE or WCW superstars. The only one I actually did not have a problem with him winning the belt was Christian. I did not have a problem with him because he should have got a world title in WWE. Well, he eventually did, but they took it away from him after 2 days. But I didn't have a problem with Christian. But it's like all these others, I mean, particularly Sting. They keep revolving around Sting. They keep coming back to him. They got to make him the hero. And as I said in one of my other recent videos, you're trying to tell me Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, Magnus, Jeff Hardy, and a few others I'm probably not naming, all those combined forces cannot beat down the aces and eights, but old ass Sting and even older Hulk Hogan can beat back the aces and eights. That is some bullshit. Sting, who has no business beating a gang of guys at mid-50s, and Hogan, who's even more in worse physical shape than Sting. I mean, I have no problem with Sting, let's say, being active in the angle, but he shouldn't be leading. He should be helping the younger guys. I mean, it's like they can't let go of this dependence on Hulk Hogan and Sting, particularly Sting. It's like they can't let go of the past. I mean, everybody talks about the WWE let go, and they are guilty of that too, by the way. But TNA is just as bad. It's just as bad. Some might even argue worse. Because, I mean, shit, at least Triple H, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, even Shawn Michaels, I would bet. At least those motherfuckers can still go. Hogan can't go no more, not really. Yeah, he gets a pop from the crowd, but that's it. And Sting, depending on who he's in there with, he could put on a decent match. I mean, Austin Aries proved he could get a decent match out of mid-50s Sting. But really, the company should not be revolving around those two. And I hate to hell that Matt Morgan was made the job, and I'm not a big Matt Morgan fan. I've never really been that high on him. But he's another one, much like Mickie James. Either shit or get off the pot with this guy. Either push this motherfucker to the moon or let him the fuck go. I mean, that's how I feel about it concerning Matt Morgan. But getting back to Sting, I hate that Matt Morgan had the job to him. Granted, he didn't actually tap out. He passed up the score. But I mean, that wasn't Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you know what I mean. I mean, come on. Sting against Bully Ray. I mean, number one, I hope Bully Ray wins. I really do. But number two, I hope they don't make him protect Sting so much that he doesn't get a damn thing out of the situation. But that's the history of people especially in the last couple of years, that have feuded with Sting. And that is, they tend to make whoever's facing them, job themselves down so much to their level, to Sting's level, that it makes them look weak. And I really hope that's not the case with Bully Ray. I hope Bully Ray goes over, and I won't. And really, at this point, Sting should be used to put over Bully Ray. Now, I know Bully Ray's a long-time veteran, but he's another one. Like Christian, I'll make an exception in his case. Because Bully Ray can still go, unlike Sting. But TNA is still in love with the past. TNA, I would say this to WWE as well. Let the freaking past go. Start working with your new star, who they're not getting any younger. Let's face it. James Storm, even though I would consider him a young lion, I would consider Austin Aries still viable, Bobby Roode, Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, AJ Styles, those guys. But all those guys are in their early to mid-30s. They're not going to be young much longer, TNA. You need to start using them and pushing them as your future stars, along with any new crop that you got, like Magnus, and probably some others I'm not thinking of. And while I'm thinking about it, all these gut check contestant winners, why haven't we seen high or hair of them since they won? With the exception of maybe that one guy that used to team with Joey Mercury. Can't think of his name right off the bat. I apologize for that. Christian York, that's his name. What's up with that? Except for maybe Christian York, you haven't seen really any of them since they won. What the fuck's up with that? If you got, hey, new spaces, why don't you put them? I mean, I don't expect to see them every week or anything, but damn, can't you put them on at least every other Impact or something? Lord knows Taylor Hendricks could definitely be used in the Knockouts division, because Knockouts division, I would rank them above the WWE Divas, but not by much. Not by much. The only reason I rank them above WWE Divas division right now is because of the quality that they put out. Because as far as actually new faces and stuff like that, really, they're about in the same situation as the Divas. In that you see the same old faces and stuff. But the only thing, like I said, Impact Wrestling's got over WWE's women's division is that they at least let them wrestle and they at least incorporate them as part of the show. But that's it. That's the only thing they got over them. I mean, we need, like, the Blossom Twins. Bring them over. Like I said earlier, turn Mickie James heel. Maybe have her team with Tara. Take the knockout tag titles from Eric Young and ODB. I mean, they ain't doing shit with the belts anyway. Take them. And then bring in the Blossom Twins. And have the Blossom Twins feud with these two veterans. You have two, then you would have a credible tag team going against an actual tag team, but who are young up-and-comers pretty much against two seasoned veterans. And that could make a great program for you that would last at least a couple months. See what I'm saying? I mean, I'm no booker or nothing, but occasionally I come up with an idea or two that just might work. But anyway, that's my rant and ramble on TNA. I mean, I know there's several things I could talk about, but those were the main two I really wanted to hit on. So, leave your comments down below. Make a video response if you want to this. I am out. Peace out. I'm Mr. Griffin.